James and Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul. I want to say thank you for being with us. We are here to announce a lawsuit. Our coalition of 8 attorneys general have filed to block the merger of broadcasting giants Nexstar and Tegna. If allowed to proceed, this merger would mean that a single broadcasting company, Nexstar, would cover 80% of American television households. This merger would give one broadcasting behemoth the power to raise prices for consumers and to control and degrade local news coverage, sports programming, and other TV content. And it would undoubtedly lead to job cuts. We're in court today to stop it. Before I get into more detail, I want to thank the members of my California DOJ antitrust law section who've vigilantly monitored this deal and prepared our case. Their hard work and collaboration with their colleagues in my fellow AG's offices made this lawsuit possible. Thank you. If Nexstar, the largest local TV broadcast group in the country, acquires Tegna, the 4th largest group in the country, so this is a proposed merger of number 1 and number 4, this combined company would reach 265 TV stations across 44 states and Washington, D.C. Here in California, Nexstar would own half of the big 4 stations in the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area and in the San Diego area, the big 4 meaning ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. In Sacramento, where Nexstar already owns the local Fox station, it would now also own the local ABC station. In San Diego, Nexstar would own the Fox and CBS local stations. Across the nation, this $6.2 billion merger would create a broadcasting behemoth, putting control of more broadcast programming in the hands of fewer people. The deal is illegal under the Clayton Act, a federal law which prohibits mergers that substantially lessen competition or tend to create a monopoly. Mega mergers in broadcast media are especially dangerous because they result in fewer voices reporting on what's happening in our communities, less choice in content across broadcast channels, the main source of local TV that can reach every home in the country. That means fewer journalists keeping a check on public institutions and people in power. It means less coverage of local corruption, of local schools and hospitals, of storms and the impact they have on roads, freeways, businesses, and residents, less investigative journalism, less accountability, less public awareness, more power for one company to raise prices for consumers and cut offerings. It's bad for the media professionals who count on these stations for their livelihoods. That's bad for residents trying to stay on top of what's happening in their communities. And it's a gut punch to a thriving democracy that relies on an informed population. Despite all the facts I just laid out, in early February, President Trump tweeted, "Get that deal done." In Trump's words, he wants to knock out the fake news. And because our president makes policy decisions by social media, his FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, immediately posted in response, "Let's get it done." Chairman Carr later confirmed in a press conference that the deal would move forward. By urging this unlawful deal through, Trump is yet again making it clear that he's more concerned with protecting greedy corporate interests than defending consumers, protecting a competitive economy, or making life more affordable for American families. Yet again, making it clear that he has little regard for our laws or the powers of his congressional counterparts. Yet again, showing the lengths he'll go to silence news coverage that does anything but fan his ego. The fact is, this merger violates federal antitrust laws that protect consumers. It cannot be allowed to go through. Before I turn it over to questions and my colleagues, I want to again call out the public servants at California DOJ who have poured their time and energy into this case. They aren't here for the attention or the praise, but they deserve both, and I want to give it to them. Paula Blizzard, Laura Antonini, Paul Chander, Elizabeth Cheever, Emily Curran, Rosaura Gutierrez, Olga Hayslip, Samantha Johnson, Komal Patel, Connie Sung, Brian Wang, all working overtime to do important work to enforce our laws and protect our consumers. Now, please allow me to turn it over to my colleagues each to say a few words, starting with the amazing Attorney General James.
Thank you, Attorney General Bonta, and it's wonderful to stand with you always, as well as AG Kwame Raoul from Illinois. Today, we are taking action to protect consumers and safeguard the future of local television. Local TV stations across the country remain some of the most trusted sources of information in our communities. The big four TV stations, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox, are some of the last remaining options for independent local news, covering our communities with expertise. These stations also provide sports and primetime coverage that consumers can't get elsewhere. But today, these vital community resources are under threat. Nexstar's proposed acquisition of Tegna would create the largest broadcast station group in the United States, consolidating hundreds of television stations under a single corporate owner. In dozens of media markets across the country, including Buffalo here in New York, Nexstar and Tegna currently compete directly with one another. This competition ensures communities get diverse, affordable, and high-quality TV coverage. But if this merger moves forward, cable prices will spike for families in New York and across the country. Cable and satellite providers must negotiate with the owners of these local stations in order to carry their content. When one company controls more stations in the same market, it has the power to demand higher fees from providers. And corporations are not the ones footing those higher costs. They get passed directly onto consumers through higher cable and satellite bills. And that means families already struggling through an affordability crisis will pay more each month to watch the same local news they rely upon. But the threat doesn't stop there. This merger also threatens local journalism. Nexstar already has a troubling track record of eliminating local newsrooms, and that means fewer journalists on the ground, fewer independent voices, and fewer local perspectives covering the communities that they know best. We all benefit when local newsrooms compete to break stories, investigate wrongdoing, and keep the public informed. And that is exactly what this merger puts at risk. The lawsuit we're filing today seeks to block this consolidation, which will undermine competition, drive up prices for consumers, and weaken the local journalism that our communities depend upon. The law is clear. The Clayton Act is clear. Mergers that substantially reduce competition are illegal. Our coalition believes this proposed merger does exactly that, and we are asking the court to stop it before harm is done. Thank you all for joining us today, especially the reporters and staff from the local news stations that we're working to defend. Your work is valuable, and it is necessary, and we are proud to defend it. Thank you, and I now turn to my good friend and colleague from Illinois, Attorney General Kwame Raoul.
Thank you. Thank you, AG James and AG Bonta, and thank your respective antitrust staffs as well as the antitrust staff of Illinois. Today, I join my colleagues in filing a lawsuit to stop Nexstar's proposed acquisition of Tegna, a $6.2 billion deal that would create a combined company owning 265 television stations across 44 states and the District of Columbia, reaching about 80% of U.S. television households. This merger would harm consumers by increasing Nexstar's leverage over cable and satellite providers like Comcast, DirecTV, Dish, and Charter. Local television stations affiliated with ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC must retain must-have programming for many viewers, including local news, sports, and highly rated primetime shows. Cable and satellite providers still need those stations, and they pay fees to carry them. If Nexstar is allowed to acquire Tegna, it will have more power to demand higher payments from those providers. Those higher costs are often passed on to consumers through higher monthly television bills. This merger also threatens competition in local news. In markets where Nexstar and Tegna currently own competing major network stations, the deal would eliminate direct rivalry to win viewers through better local journalism. When the rivalry disappears, the merged company has more incentive to cut staffing, consolidate operations, and standardize coverage across stations that used to compete. That means viewers could see less independent local reporting, fewer newsroom resources, and less competition to deliver strong local news. In Illinois, these concerns are especially real. In the Quad Cities, Nexstar already controls CBS and Fox stations, while Tegna owns the ABC affiliate. In St. Louis market that reaches part of Illinois, Nexstar already owns Fox and the CW affiliate, while Tegna owns the NBC station. Nexstar has already reportedly cut newsroom and on-air staff at Chicago's very own WGN Channel 9 in anticipation of the merger. That raises serious concerns about what more consolidation could mean for local journalism in Illinois and across the country. The Nexstar track record reveals that consumers and communities will have less choice in news and less access to diversity and perspectives if this merger succeeds, all while prices for paid television content continue to rise. This lawsuit centers around protecting consumers from higher bills and protecting communities from losing the benefits of strong local news. Again, I would like to thank the antitrust teams of Illinois, New York, and California. I'll pass it back to Rob.
Thank you. We can open up to any questions. Bethany, do you want to lead?
Yeah, if you'd like to ask a question, you may do so by hitting the raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen. You'll be put in the queue. You can also submit questions through the Q&A feature. Please make sure you state your publication when you ask your question. First question comes from Brock. You are now unmuted.
Hey folks, thank you. This is Brock Reefer from Politico. With states increasingly stepping in for federal regulators on antitrust enforcement, are there any concerns that cost or staffing capacity could eventually become prohibitive?
Well, we have a job to do, and we're going to do it. That's the bottom line. It would be preferred if the US DOJ and the FTC did their job. They're not, unfortunately. While they retreat from their traditional role and a needed role that the federal government has long played to enforce antitrust laws, we will step in to the breach and step into the gap and get it done. The consumers across our country deserve it. Our law requires it. And so we will do it. And we're working together. We're teaming up. We're sharing resources. We got multiple AGs across this country with expertise, experience, institutional knowledge, resources, and we have enough to get these jobs done. There's a lot happening at one time right now, and we can do it all, whether it be Live Nation Ticketmaster and Nexstar-Tegna, whatever might be on the horizon. We'll meet the moment and we'll get the job done because the American people and the people of our respective states deserve it.
I think it's really critically important that individuals understand this consolidation. This consolidation will affect 44 states and over 80% of television households in the United States of America. It is for those reasons that attorneys general have decided to step forward at a time when the federal government has retreated. And so I want to thank, of course, Rob Bonta and Kwame Raoul, but I also want to thank my Antitrust Bureau, Morgan Fetter, Amy McFarland, and Eleanor Hoffman.
Yeah, I echo the sentiments. Whether it's antitrust, consumer protection, protection of civil rights, protection of our Constitution, certainly we're historically accustomed to collaborating with the federal government to protect American citizens against violations of the law or our Constitution. We're in a state now where that collaboration does not happen as frequently, and we have to step up. regardless of the strain on our respective offices. The beautiful thing is we have collaboration across the states, and through that collaboration, we can do this work. We have been doing this work, and we have been succeeding in doing this work.
Next question comes from Ted. You are now unmuted.
Oh, thank you for having this press conference. Ted Johnson from Deadline. My question is, have you been in contact with the DOJ on this merger? Have they said to you, we're not going to challenge this? My other question is the fact that the federal government is not a part of this lawsuit. What impact do you think that will have on how the court reviews it? Will that be a strike against you?
I don't believe that it will be a strike against us. DOJ has a responsibility, and they will review this merger. We suspect that this merger will be, they will review it in a cursory manner, and that FCC will approve it. At the same time, it's important to know that states have a responsibility and duty under the law to enforce antitrust laws in these United States, and that's exactly what we are doing in regards to this matter, and of course, Live Nation, which is currently on trial. And we will continue to review all consolidations, particularly given its impact on consumers when affordability is a major issue in the United States, and the impact that it's going to have on workers in journalism, independent journalism.
As indicated, from the very top, from the president to Chair Carr, there has been every indication that there will be no intervention by the federal government, and maybe they will shock and surprise us and act. But I have my serious doubts, which leaves it to us to take these important steps. And it's not the party who is intervening, it's the facts and the law that matter. And that's what we will present to the court. It's very compelling in this case. We think we have an extremely strong case. And whether it's the US DOJ and the FTC who are presenting those same facts and that same law, or our coalition of states, the facts and the law don't change. And if they're compelling, if the federal government brings it, they're compelling if we bring it. We're bringing it, and they are compelling. And we believe we have a very strong case.
Yeah, all I'll say is that states have long had concurrent capacity to bring antitrust matters, and that has not changed. Whether or not the federal government is a co-party or not does not impact the facts or the law.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Jeff. You are now unmuted.
We can't hear you, Jeff.
Trini, can you unmute Jeff?
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Got you, Jeff. Thank you.
I apologize to all of you. This is Jeff Bliss from the Capitol Forum. I was just wondering if the 8 states involved in this suit get divestitures in their states from Nexstar-Tegna, would you continue the suit anyway? As AG James said, this does affect 44 states, but if you do get relief, so to speak, in your own states, would you keep the suit going?
Maybe I'll take. Did anyone want to jump in?
So let me just say that obviously, if we're going forward and we represent the interest of all 44 states. Any relief that we seek will be on behalf of all of those states. I do not think that any one of the 8 states that are plaintiffs in this particular case will negotiate in isolation. We are coordinated in this effort, and we all look forward to seeking relief on behalf of 80% of households who rely upon this consolidation.
Yep.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I would just echo As I indicated in my opening remarks, that what happens in the St. Louis market, which is across the border from Illinois, impacts Illinois, and so our interests are broader than what happens immediately within our state's boundaries.
And I'll just say there's an element of dynamism to this case in the sense that 8 states are bringing the case today. We've moved quickly. It might be that other states join, so TBD. And we think this is the facial data of this proposed merger clearly shows that this will substantially lessen competition. And so we are moving now to block the unlawful merger. And we're not going to preview any potential solutions down the road, except to say that this is anti-competitive. It violates Clayton Act, Section 7, and we're moving to block.
Thank you all.
Next question comes from Dave. You're now unmuted.
Oh, hi. Thanks for doing the event, and thanks for letting me ask the question. This is Dave Michaels. I'm with the Wall Street Journal. I just wanted to see if I could clarify on the back of the last question. Did Nexstar offer any divestitures to try to discourage the states from suing? And then also, there is some concentration created as a result of the merger in Republican-led states, such as Texas. And I was wondering if you might be able to address why those states didn't join the suit, and if you were in touch with them at all about your investigation.
So again, this case was just filed yesterday. We anticipate that other states will join on. It's important that individuals understand that as states analyze the impact of this consolidation, the impact that it will have on consumer cable bills, the impact that it will have on cutting local news programming, and the impact that it will have on stifling competition, we suspect that other states will join on. This is not an issue which is partisan. This is a bipartisan. This is an issue that affects 80% of Americans who rely upon television, and we suspect that other states will join regardless of their political affiliation.
And I'll just add, there has not been any divestiture offer from Nexstar. So we'll see what the future holds in terms of any discussion or solution proposals. But for now, there has not been. And again, we've moved to sue based on the facts and the law and the presumptive illegality of this act. And just wanted to reference and highlight that we are right now in trial in the Southern District of New York on the Ticketmaster Live Nation case, side by side with multiple red states. And so the idea that antitrust and protecting consumers is bipartisan is on full display, and very well could happen here as well.
Next question comes from Brian. You're now unmuted.
Thank you. Brian Seltzer from the Warner Brothers Discovery-owned CNN. Can you just give us a sense of the timeline real quick? This has been underway for months. Staffers of these stations heard about this deal back in August. How many months would you expect it to go along? How quickly will a judge start to hear this case? Can you give us a picture of that?
You want to go, Tish?
No, go ahead.
So there was pre-merger notification provided to the federal government, and that created a 30-day window that's about to close. We wanted, of course, to sue timely, which we have. We filed late last night in the Eastern, in the Sacramento area, Eastern District of California, and there is a time sensitivity, so we certainly can't predict by date when actions will be taken by the court, but we're moving with urgency and expeditiously, and we think we have a very strong case that we presented. It's not super complicated. The Clayton Act is really clear on this, and so we expect some action by the court soon. We haven't moved at this point for any temporary relief in the sense of a temporary restraining order or preliminary injunction. We could still do that. but we wanted to get our complaint on file timely, and we have, and it preserves all of our rights, arguments, and allows us to move expeditiously as we go forward.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Joe. You are now unmuted.
Hi, Joe Flint from the Wall Street Journal. We're double dipping today at my paper. A question right now: the Nexstar-Tegna deal, needs a waiver from the FCC because the rules do not, would not match a deal of this size. And I think there's a little bit of debate whether Congress has to loosen the caps or the FCC. But my question is, if the caps are loosened in such a way that would then allow for this deal, does that have any impact on what you guys are doing? Does it make the road tougher or not?
No, as was mentioned before, we will continue to pursue these claims on behalf of consumers. Again, we are concerned about higher prices, concerned about the stifling competition. We will move forward in all due deliberate speed.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I would just say, I would add on that the lifting of the caps does not impact the analysis based on the Clayton Act with regards to lessening competition.
Thanks.
That was the last question.
With great gratitude to my amazing colleagues, thank you for joining us today. We're grateful for the opportunity to share a little bit about this action, and more to come in the near future on this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.